Is Tara here, the metaphysician. Um, and I just feel a kind of way, and I'm thinking some things, and I'm doing some stuff, and I wanted to talk to you. Um, I had a flashback last week that continued or sparked again in me yesterday. Um, and there was a flashback to, I'm gonna say, probably like 2015. Yeah, something like 2015. Um, in 2015, I was traveling a ton, and I was in Berlin, and I checked into this adorable little hipster hotel in Berlin. And I checked in at night, and then the next day, my friends, my German and Scandinavian friends, were going to meet me at the front desk of my hotel. And overnight, there was a shooting um, at a black church in the South that I didn't hear about because I was in Berlin. So that morning, I get up, I work out, I get dressed, I come down, I meet my friends at the front desk who are all sort of stunned looking, and they're all wondering how I am. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And I said, they said, well, there was the shooting overnight at a black church in the States. You may not have heard about it, and at the time, I'm like the black church lady that they know. So they were concerned about me. And my immediate reaction was to kind of be like, well, so shootings happen at black churches in the United States, and this is kind of the history of them, and it's kind of been a thing for some decades. And, there's like this thing within us that maybe feels there's some sort of virtue in not being surprised when this kind of shit happens. So I remember very clearly standing at the front desk to this hotel, kind of explaining to my German friends that, these are things that happen in the United States. I'm fine. And I remember, and this is me speaking to a very small group of like, very tall, very blonde, very atheist Germans who kind of like looked at me like I was an alien and basically were like, doing an intervention. You shouldn't live there. You actually just shouldn't live there. If this is a thing that you think is normal to happen at church, these are atheists, okay? And they're just like, if that's what happens at churches where you live, you shouldn't live there, Tara. So, cut to this week, cut to last week, cut to yesterday. And I have this flashback over again. And the one question that's on my mind, listen, I live in the Bay Area. I am privileged in 1,000 ways. I don't even have anybody in my feed who's on the wrong side. Well, I'm just going to call it that, of the gun control issue. All right. But what I do have is people posting their outrage at the unimaginable events of yesterday. And what I do have is this outrage at like, yo, why are we calling this unimaginable? Why are we calling this unimaginable? When something happens 200 times before June, literally the only thing that's bizarre is if you're surprised. A client reminded me earlier today of a thing that Oprah used to say about how when someone shows you who they are, believe them. We have been shown who America is, beloveds. Now, it's on us to muster up the spiritual maturity and the spiritual ovaries to believe it and to make our decisions accordingly, or to keep wringing our hands and wailing like we have been, begging people who, let's just be clear, you know me, my whole shit is I see what needs seeing and say what needs saying. Why are we begging people who do not give a fuck about your children to somehow start growing a fuck? It's not gonna it ain't happened the last however many generations. It's not gonna happen today. So don't get it twisted. There absolutely 100% is a fear and outrage industrial complex that profits from us being afraid. And there is 100% a violence industrial complex that profits from these children being slaughtered at school. I said it. We need to start calling shit what it really is. These children were slaughtered at school. These children were slaughtered at school. Um, may the actual good Lord have mercy on us all. Because everything has a center, guys. Everything has a center. Everything has a center. Everything has a center. Everything has a center. And the center of American culture is dollars. Straight up. There is no thing and no person and no child who will ever matter more here anytime soon. All right. And the truth is, the only way that ever changes is by us getting disgusted enough that we destroy what needs to be destroyed so that we can create what needs to be created next. All right. So, yeah, like I'm actually not sad today. I'm disgusted today. I'm over it. I'm over it. I am over it. I am no longer participating in this spiritually diseased bullshit. Okay. In my house, we have the privilege of having options. So I choose to exercise them now on an accelerated time frame. All right. And some of y'all know we were already kind of in motion on our plans to move to Mexico. I'll tell you what is happening with that right now. Um, I'm not, I see a lot of helplessness on my social media feeds right now. I see a lot of hand wringing right now. I see a lot of analysis right now. I see a lot of paralysis right now. And like, hey, feel what you need to feel, grieve what you need to grieve, mourn what you need to mourn. But we do these children no favor if we allow them to be slaughtered at school and then allow our emotions about that to leave us huddled and in the fetal position under the freaking desk. All right. So, like, if that's where all these emotions leave you, I'm going to need you to, like, be there for a minute, process what you need to process. And then I need you to come out of that soon. Because the reason we are divinely wired to have emotions like grief, like sadness, like heartbreak, like pain, like anger, is so that they can energize and direct action. All right. So I'm not feeling helpless today. I'm feeling hopeless today. I'm not feeling helpless today. I'm feeling hopeless today. And that's different. Because hopelessness has to happen for necessary endings to occur. I am feeling a hopelessness that is grounded in the freaking facts. If there is no hope that there is anything that you or I do on today or on tomorrow or next week or next month that will fix this total and complete literal fucking mayhem. Okay. And it's really not even just about the shooting situation, you guys. You know, the other things that have been happening in this country. And I'm telling you something else. I was talking to my friend Keisha about this a couple weeks ago. I had read this article in the New York Times about parenting and the anxiety epidemic among children. And I saw a stat that said that there's been a spike in an radical exponential increase in the suicide rate of like 6-year-olds. All right, 6-year-olds. When a culture does not give a fuck about its children, you should throw that entire shit away. Okay? That is my opinion. Actually, that's not my opinion. That's my knowing. And I don't actually even care if it's popular or not. Destruction has to happen for creation to ensue. That's the natural, that is spiritual law. All right. And what I know is this: in any situation, if I don't like the situation, and I don't like the situation, I got three options. I can change the situation, I can accept the situation wholeheartedly, or I can leave the situation. And to do anything else is crazy making. To talk about, to wail and wish you could, all of that is crazy making, right? And all of these years of this cycle of, like, I saw someone post a meme today that was like, well, it's Wednesday, mass shooting, thoughts and prayers, outrage about gun control, cry for senators to do whatever, back to, regularly scheduled programming. Like, that's making everybody even crazier. So I'm leaving the situation sooner than I had planned to, way more fearlessly than I anticipated, because wise, clear minded, fact facing hopelessness begets fearlessness, you guys. And that's where I'm at. We are fearlessly moving on an accelerated time frame to implement our plans. I spent, if you had asked me a week ago, I would have told you, well, we have this plan. We're going to be 2 months here and 1 month there, and we're going to do this, and we're going to do this over here, and we're going to ease into it, and we're going to go over here. Well, no, I've spent the last 24 hours just lining up the things that we need when we reach our destination. And Spirit is like, bet, I'll meet you there. So preschools have started. When I couldn't find a preschool last week, this week I've got 6 being like, sure, when are you going to be here? Right? We'll pick her up and drop her off for you. Properties, beautiful, brand new properties that weren't even listed last week, opening up with incredible, amazing offers. Once I connect with the owners and they learn who I am and what I do, we're like having our own little rendezvous, because I know divine order and divine timing are real. I know what my job is and what it is not. I know what my business is and what it is not. I only have control over my thoughts, my actions, my emotions, period, the end. And so, last week I started to ask the question, how easy can I let this be? And started sending a few emails. And now I'm looking with wonder at all the things that are starting to line up and light up. And that's validation. And there's really something to lineage. So many of us in these United States we didn't come from here, unless you are part of the First Nations of indigenous people who were here before the Mayflower and all that nonsense. We all came here from somewhere, right? Or were, whether it was voluntarily or forcibly in chains, we all came here from somewhere else. And so many of us have a lineage. And in my lineage, I am in the lineage of my grandmother, whose mother died when she was young, and she had 3 little sisters and 4 babies. And my grandmother somehow co-created with the divine, a migration of our family, 2 of her 3 sisters and all of her children, from Texas to California in the probably, like, let's say late 50s or early 60s, in search of in confidence that that she could team up with the divine and create a better life. And you know what she did? She found it. She created it to the benefit of us all. The life I live, the privileges I have, the resources I have right now are a direct result of decisions that she made. All right. So that's all I got. That's all I got to say today, guys. No, I got one more thing to say. Now, like I said, I don't have any of you on my feed, praise be, because I'm a good magnetizer, good people. Talking about, arguing for guns or gun rights or gun freedom or the Second Amendment or whatever. But I do see a lot of you arguing with people on your feeds who are. And I want to invite you to put a necessary ending to the expenditure of your life force on these nonsense bullshit conversations. The Second Amendment was about muskets. All right. Look, we can stop pretending that that's what we're really talking about. That's not what we're really talking about. All right. So stop giving your life force to that nonsense. Reclaim it. Feel what you need to feel and move in the world accordingly. I love you. I'll see you always. Keep your head up, keep your heart out, even in this, even through this.